the turmoil of the Obama years. And I wanted to check in with Jessica Vaughn from the Center for Immigration Studies about this. And Jessica, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Good to talk with you.
I just made a list of things that I've read stories about in the last 10 days to 2 weeks, and I'm just going to let you pick several to go with. You can no longer let illegal aliens know that they could be deported because it might cause them, quote unquote, undue stress. We're not going to give any more money to the Central American countries to try to shut down the caravans which are invading our country. We just have basically open borders. Illegal aliens in Mexico or future illegal aliens are getting COVID vaccinations before they come into the country to go on welfare. And ICE has been ordered that they not to deport anybody, even violent criminals, basically, including drunk drivers and drug dealers. What am I know I'm missing a few, but what do you want to start with, Jessica?
Well, those are all bad, but really, I think the most impactful one is what has been inflicted on ICE and what will be inflicted on our communities as a result. This is really the worst approach to immigration enforcement that I've ever seen in my 29 years of working on this issue here. What Biden has done essentially is to abolish immigration enforcement. Practically, it's really troubling. And career ICE officers that I have been communicating with are really upset about it, and especially because they believe that the public doesn't quite understand and isn't being told the true extent of how bad this is. And I agree with them. I mean, as I said, immigration enforcement has been nearly shut down. Not only has Biden imposed a temporary moratorium on deportations, which was blocked by a judge in Texas, but even worse, he's issued an order that says that ICE officers may arrest only the most egregious, worst of the worst offenders, and put them on the path to removal.
So drunk drivers, drug dealers, and domestic abusers are not considered the worst of the worst, right?
Correct. Hit and run, it's okay. Sex offenders, fraud, DUI, those are all acceptable and excusable under Biden's immigration priorities. He wants to allow them to stay, and he's told ICE that they may not arrest them. But it's even worse than that, Howie, because even if you were a serious offender years ago, that's excused as well. So, for example, let's say, remember back in 2008, 2009, ICE was doing a good job of ridding the Boston area of MS-13 gang members. Maybe let's say somebody hacked off somebody's hand and did some time in the Massachusetts State Prison and got removed. Well, if that crime happened more than 10 years ago and they come back here illegally, despite the fact that they were an very violent aggravated felon, gang member, reentry after deportation, which is a federal felony, ICE can't touch them.
How can they not enforce the law, Jessica? How can they not enforce I mean, if Congress were to repeal a law, that would be one thing. But how can ICE, which is sworn to uphold the laws and enforce the laws, now be told in an executive order by one branch of government not to enforce the laws that were passed by another branch of government and signed into law by a previous president?
Well, that's a good question, but so far nobody has challenged this order. And it's going to be difficult, frankly, to get some standing, I think, for anyone to successfully challenge it in court. We've seen this before. Obama cut deportations way back, but not this far back. It's completely irrational. And, it's almost as if the Biden administration is, going forward with some kind of revenge on ICE, revenge on Trump and Trump supporters by completely blocking immigration enforcement just because they can get away with it. I hope they can. I hope that some smarter people than me figure out how to challenge it, but it's not going to be easy.
Well, we know if it gets before any kind of Obama judge or Clinton, even a Clinton judge, they're gonna okay it because it's part of the fundamental transformation of America.
Right. I mean, I get the feeling they'd rather arrest ICE officers for enforcing the law than they would arrest an illegal alien who's come here and hurt somebody. That's what it might come down.
Well, that was the in the Obama administration. They did some of that. Remember, they told the Border Patrol they said you better not arrest an illegal alien drunk driver because you may go to prison for doing that. Remember that?
Yes, I do. And, I've been doing a little bit of a dive into ICE deportation statistics that I get through FOIA requests. And I found in just the most recent year I have, 2018, there were more than 10,000 illegal alien DUI cases who got removed in 2018, none of whom would be deportable today. So we're talking 10,000 more illegal alien drunk drivers on the road.
And those, if they were still here, drunk drivers often repeat offend. They're recidivists in many cases. They would, those 10,000 that were deported probably would have killed hundreds of people, American citizens and non-Americans, over the years, right?
That's right. And I mean, to actually get convicted of drunk driving, you've got to have been caught a number of times.
Right. Nobody gets caught the first time.
In Massachusetts, they get continued. Yeah.
Right.
And think about states like California, where they try not to charge anybody with a felony and send them to prison. They're always dumbing down and diluting the charges on people who are arrested. They don't like to prosecute people. There are people who will have committed horrific crimes that on paper will look like petty offenders.
Right, because it's plea bargained. Everything is plea bargained down. It's like when Obama pardoned all those drug dealers. And he said, well, none of them have been convicted of carrying weapons during the commission of their felonies. That's because it was plea bargained down. And they plea bargain everything down, as you know, Jessica, especially in Massachusetts and some of the other really liberal states. They always say, well, you can't convict my client of this because otherwise he's going to be convicted and he's going to have to go off welfare and he'll have to go back home and get a job. And the judge immediately gets the vapors and cuts it down to a misdemeanor. And then he's back out on the streets committing more crimes.
Judges like former Judge Shelley Joseph, who will let them run out the back door of their courtroom. I mean,
and when is that case going to be when is that case going to be dismissed? She's just running out the clock. She will never be tried. She'll be back on the bench, letting illegal aliens out the back door yet again. How about the refugees? Now, we're talking to Jessica Vaughn from the Center for Immigration Studies. Now, there used to be a plan that if one of these quote unquote charities plan to dump a bunch of criminal refugees into your community, the actual American citizens, the taxpayers, law-abiding people could object. They can't object anymore, right, under the new rules?
No, that was one of the first things to go under Biden. It was like he couldn't wait to get rid of that meaningful consultation with local communities policy and order that Trump had enacted. And he's talking about increasing refugees to 125,000 a year, up from 15,000 this year. It's supposed to be. That's the level that was set by Trump. And even under Obama, it was nowhere near 125,000. I can't remember the last year. I think it might have been 80 at the most. So, yeah, and all these people, and of course, the vetting executive order and the so-called travel ban has been scrapped. Mm-hmm. And, any kind of meaningful vetting will be scrapped under Ali Mayorkas, who's the head of DHS now, who, was sort of pay to play and Mr. Lean and light background checks on everyone, just trying to wave people in as quickly as possible. So we don't know who we're going to be getting in terms of refugees. Biden is planning to, he wants to avoid this debacle of a rush on the border, which already has started, of course. But, he knows that would be politically damaging to have another border crisis of families and kids coming here to ask for asylum. So he's planning to set up what he calls refugee processing centers in Central America. So they apply there and don't have to traipse through Central America and Mexico to get their plane ticket into the United States.
But why are we paying for plane tickets for people who are going to go on to the welfare rolls as soon as they get here?
Future voters?
I know the. I'm just asking you this. We don't have much time left. Tell us about the undue stress rule. That's just so unbelievable. That should be on the front page of every paper, every website in America, but it's not.
Biden's people have told USCIS, the agency that processes green card applications and other applications, that if somebody is actually rejected, has their application rejected, and that doesn't happen very often because it's kind of rigged to approve everyone, then the officers are not supposed to tell the illegal alien who tried to get their green card or didn't qualify because they were a criminal, can't tell them that they are now deportable, because it would cause undue stress on this customer. And that's a direct quote.
A customer.
That's the language they use.
An illegal alien who wants to come over here and commit crimes is now a customer.
Right. They don't pay. A lot of them don't pay because of all the fee waivers, but they're to be considered a customer who can't be stressed out by suggesting that they are here illegally and could potentially be deported.
But the mayor of Tampa says the cops are going to round up people who were at the Super Bowl who weren't wearing masks, who are American citizens.
Well, I'm sure they'll get off if they're here illegally. We wouldn't want anyone deported.
Right. The 14th Amendment doesn't apply anymore. If you're an illegal alien, you have a lot more rights. There is no more equal protection under the law. There's only unequal protection, and the protection is only for the illegal aliens. Oh, my goodness. It's bad. I have a feeling we're going to have you on more as these months go by, Jessica. It's pretty bad. Where do people go if they want to read up on the work of the Center for Immigration Studies?
Everything's on our website at CIS.org. And I hope people who are affected by this relaxation of immigration enforcement or abolishment of immigration enforcement or any of the Biden policies will reach out to either me or others at CIS, because we need to tell the stories of how this is affecting Americans. And people can reach me through our website at CIS.org.
Thank you, Jessica Vaughn. Sorry, that's some bad news, but you need to know it. Forewarned is forearmed, as they say. Thank you, Jessica Vaughn from the Center for Immigration Studies, CIS.org. My friends at Eden Pure have done it again. For as long as supplies last, Thunderstorm Air Purifier will come with a free copy of Kennedy Babylon. That's buy one Thunderstorm Air Purifier, get Kennedy Babylon, one of them for free. That's in addition to the $10 in savings Eden Pure is already offering on the Thunderstorm. It's been months and people still ask me if it really works. Not only does it work in hours. Our sales rep came down to Florida and there was a funky smell at her Airbnb. It was no match, though, for the Thunderstorm. It's great. Pack your Eden Pure Thunderstorm in your suitcase and don't worry about the odor. The Eden Pure Air Purifier is so small you can hold it in your hand and it plugs right into the wall. That's why it's so easy to move and take with you on a trip. The best part is you don't have to replace any air filters, which of course saves you time and money. If you're like me, you are watching very little TV these days. There's no better way to pass the time than to curl up with one of my Kennedy Babylon books. The Eden Pure Air Purifier can handle pet kitchen tobacco or that damp basement smell. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word HowieBook. HowieBook. The free book is while supplies last, so grab yours today. Some listeners found the offer over the weekend before we started promoting the book, so it's going fast. It's not going to last for long. EdenPure.com, code word HowieBook. Shipping is free, and you still get the $10 in savings, plus the book. It's a hell of a deal. I'm Howie Carr.
The Howie Carr Show.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you today in part by Nauset Beach Inn. Open this winter for the first time in 63 years. Take advantage of their ocean view room rate while rooms are still available. Low price available only at NausetBeachInn.com.